Hey everyone, ready to dive into something pretty cool. We're talking object-centric process mining today, OCPM.
It's really about getting to that next level of how businesses can use AI.
Exactly, and how to use all that data to make things, well, work better. We're going deep with this paper by expert Will van der Aalst, all about OCPM.
Yeah, it's kind of a revolution in how we understand and improve, like how stuff really gets done in businesses.
Love it. Now, for those who haven't gotten lost in the world of process mining yet, what is it exactly?
Okay, so imagine those old detective movies. They're piecing together a crime, just bits of information here and there.
Right, trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, and process mining was like our first big clue in this whole business analysis thing. Instead of just staring at data, we're figuring out the steps, the actual processes.
So finding those bottlenecks, the why behind slowdowns, all that.
Totally. But the thing is, traditional process mining, it often zeroed in on single cases, like one customer order, just one piece of the puzzle.
Ah, okay. So where does OCPM come in?
It says, hold on, let's look at the objects moving through everything. The products, the invoices, even people. Each one's part of multiple processes.
So instead of a snapshot, it's like a whole movie, right? Seeing how everything interacts.
Exactly. Like, imagine trying to understand traffic in a city. Old way, you're tracking one car. OCPM, you see how every car is moving, the roads, lights, everything. Much bigger picture.
Instead of cars, it's those orders in a supply chain or like info moving between teams.
Yeah, and that's huge GE for businesses. These complex systems, they suddenly become, well, less complex. You can actually see what's going on.
Okay, I'm seeing the power here, this object-centric thing. But AI, where does that fit in? Because van der Aalst, he talks about OCPM unleashing AI, and that's really interesting.
Right, that's when it gets really cool. It's like OCPM gives AI the key to unlock all this insight.
That was hidden before in these messy processes.
Exactly. And that's where we get to process lenses.
Wait, hold on. Process lenses. Before we go further, what are those?
Right, got to keep everyone on the same page. It just means how we're analyzing things. Are we looking at time, at cost, at how we use resources? OCPM, it gives a detailed view through any of those lenses.
Gotcha. So like having different views of the same thing depending on what matters most.
Yes, and that is where AI steps in. OCPM lays it all out for AI, all that data, in this neat, structured way, kind of like...
Like a blueprint.
Yeah, kind of. AI can see the big picture instantly. We call it a situation table.
Meaning all those details, who touched what, where the delays were, all of that.
You got it. It's organized, it's clear. So AI can go way beyond just basic stuff. It finds those deeper insights.
Instead of just knowing what went wrong, we can understand why, maybe even prevent it next time. That's powerful.
Powerful's the right word. And this is where it gets even cooler, right? This whole predictive AI thing, everyone wants to know what's coming next.
Right, predict the future, all that. So how does this object-centric view, how does it make AI better at predictions for businesses?
Okay, say you're trying to, I don't know, predict if an order is going to be delivered on time. The old way, you just look at past data, 80% of orders are on time. This one probably will be too. Kind of basic.
Like assuming, what, just because it's usually sunny in California, it'll be sunny tomorrow. Got to check the forecast.
Exactly. But OCPM, it's like giving AI that full forecast, not just the average weather. It can look at supplier times, how much space is in the warehouse, even traffic on the delivery route.
So much more data.
Way more. And it's not just about knowing what'll happen, but why, right? So you can actually do something about it.
Influence the outcome. That's huge if you can.
Huge. But we're still just scratching the surface here. We've talked about using AI to analyze, but what about to explain? To tell us what it's finding in a way that, makes sense.
Oh, okay. So less about charts and graphs, more about clear takeaways.
Exactly. And that is where this whole generative AI comes in. It's like our translator.
That's the ChatGPT side of AI, right? Writing poems, even code. What's that got to do with process mining?
It takes all that complex data, all those processes, and turns it into something we humans get.
So instead of me trying to decipher some massive report,
it just tells you, right? Imagine you ask, why is customer support so slow this week? Generative AI, boom, tells you response times are up 15% because of the new product launch, plus more people are out sick than usual.
Straight to the point.
Okay.
That's helpful, but can it, suggest stuff too? Not just explain?
For sure. Let's say your hiring process is a mess. You know it takes forever, but not why. Generative AI, using that OCPM data, it could say, hey, looks like candidates who do 3 interviews are less likely to accept the job. Maybe streamline that.
So it's like having an AI consultant right there, diagnosing and giving advice. That's incredible if it works.
It's about moving from just reacting to problems to getting ahead of them. And OCPM with AI, well, that's how we do it.
This is seriously cool stuff, I gotta say. We've gone from basic spreadsheets to AI insights. Like, that's a big jump. But let's, I don't know, bring it back down to earth for a sec. This all sounds amazing, but some people listening are probably thinking, okay, where do I even start with this in my own work?
It's a good question, because knowing something's one thing, actually using it, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
The good news is you don't have to be like a data scientist to make this work for you.
So what's step one? Hiring an AI consultant. Buying some expensive software.
Nah, not necessarily. It starts with, honestly, just changing how you think. Instead of looking at all those data points alone, think of the objects that matter most in your work and how they all connect to each other.
Give me an example. Like if I'm in sales, those objects are leads, maybe proposals, that kind of thing.
There you go. Manufacturing. Could be raw materials, the production line itself, what you're actually making. Once you start with those objects and how they move, you'll be surprised what you figure out, even without fancy tech.
So it's like what? Putting on a different pair of glasses? Suddenly you see things you didn't before.
Exactly. And as you start noticing those objects, those connections, then you can see if tech can help. Capture that data, make sense of it, but the thinking comes first.
Right, so the right mindset matters even more than having the right tools.
Totally. And that's why I think this whole object-centric thing, it's a big deal. It's not just a new tech, it's a new way of thinking about all this stuff. Data, processes, how we work, could really change things.
It's like Aalst said, the future of business is all about understanding these processes, making them better. And OCPM with AI in the mix, that's how we get there.
It's an exciting time, that's for sure. And as this tech keeps getting better, who knows what we'll be able to do? Really exciting to think about.
I'm with you on that. But for now, we've reached the end of our deep dive into OCPM. Hopefully everyone listening has some new ideas about their own work, the processes that make it all happen.
It's been great exploring all this with you. And remember, the biggest thing is to just start trying things. You never know what you might find.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, everyone, keep learning, keep asking those questions, and keep diving deep.